Everybody plays games. Let's not act like that's not real. When a dirty old man comes at you, do you think that little white girl, the 25 grand a cheap girl, meant half of the stuff that she was saying to Shannon Sharp? Of course not.
All of this shows that Sean Combs is a terrible guy, but it doesn't amount to RICO. I am one of the people who argues and debates that a lot of this shows RICO. And, Kid Cudi seemed to have a lot of stories that matched up with the predicate acts to RICO. Did you agree or disagree?
I'm here to stand in solidarity with all of the survivors of Diddy and for the agenda for cruelty-free artistry to be something real. There's too much pain. There's been too many victims. There's too many survivors.
Do we think he did it? Heck yes, we think he did it. But I don't know if that's enough to prove arson as one of those crimes that they've alleged was part of his RICO criminal enterprise.
Just when it seemed the Diddy scandal couldn't go deeper, Jaguar Wright reportedly dropped explosive evidence tapes involving a then 17-year-old Bryce Gray. She walked into court like a woman on a mission, claiming she witnessed the dark coercion behind the music industry.
I was the only person there speaking for the victims except for the prosecution. I was the only one there to stand in solidarity, other than the prosecution. Looking around at all the YouTubers, interloping, begging, waiting in line to get into the court so that they could gossip, or should I say, misinform the public of what's real. Thank God for court transcripts, because I can honestly say that there would be 80 million remixes if it wasn't for that. I had to be there. And not just that, I was there as a reporter myself, as a journalist myself. I needed to be there to document that first day. It's one of the most important parts of my journey for cruelty free. But I wanted to be there and make prayer before everybody got it. And just reach out to the prosecutor as they came up and let them know. You have platforms that are backing you. We're praying for your success. And that moment with her was awesome. I prayed for her. I prayed for her safety. She told me that she does the same for me. And I asked her the most important question there was to ask: are you ready? And she looked me in my face like I called her on a bluff, and she said,
as the trial unfolds, Jaguar Wright shares her unfiltered take, claiming none of this shocks her. She's been calling it out for years. In her latest commentary, she questions the defense tactics and draws bold parallels to the R. Kelly case, urging the public to recognize the disturbing patterns hiding in plain sight.
I've already spoken to him. That's the thing. Anything that's about to be said in that courtroom, I've already spoke about at length here on this couch.
Front door lock, unlock.
Are they saying anything different than I've already said that they be doing?
Yeah, you're right. You're on it.
How many times have I said? This Papa is wild. They wild. And everybody knew about it. I could have sworn to God I said that 1 million times. Everyone knew. Everyone. So no, I'm not surprised at anything he had to say. I'm not surprised at anything that Cassie is saying right now. What I do find interesting is that everyone is acting so surprised. What will I say about what he said? I think he's telling the absolute truth. Like when the opening statements in the defendant's case start as, well, my client has drug addiction and he suffers from jealous primal rage. I mean, yeah, he did these things, but it really wasn't that bad. Everybody loved him and they wanted to be loved by him in the manner in which he likes loving people. What did I say about R. Kelly? Do y'all remember that? The first time we did the blue couch, after the chair, when it went from the light bulb to the couch with a light on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Love and year. Love and year. Yeah. How is this any different? Is nobody realizing that a lot of the testimony that we're hearing against the diddler right now, very similar to the things that people were saying about R. Kelly?
Yes.
Why is nobody paying attention to that? Why does no one want to look at what's right there?
But it gets wilder. Jaguar Wright named Ryan Leslie, claiming he introduced Cassie to Diddy in what she calls a setup. Since the lawsuit, he's been silent. No statements, no denials. Jaguar didn't hold back. You don't get to wash your hands like Pontius Pilate. So what did Ryan Leslie really know?
A whore telling people not to care about her baby. He said Mary Magdalene was a whore, and then compared her like, and y'all better not be affected by that baby bump. Whores have babies too. Who says that?
Wow.
Talking about he knows where her family is from because he's from New London, Connecticut. And everyone wants to keep barreling down on Ryan Leslie. It's funny. I talked about the whole Ryan Leslie connection. Ryan loved Cassie, bragged about her. Cassie just testified. She has tattoos on her body from Ryan Leslie. But nobody ever talks about how that relationship ended and how her relationship with Diddy began. You know, Ryan was blowing up. And after him and Cassie separated, gone. I wonder why. If Diddy has ran around and threatened every other man that was interested in Cassie while he was busy her, neglecting her, confusing her, why wouldn't we think that he put the moves on Ryan Leslie? I thought it was interesting when he did Drink Champs, because he just recently, not that long ago, did a Drink Champ interview with Nori and them over on the Peer Pressure podcast. I was shocked to see that. I didn't understand the relevance. I didn't understand why he would do anything for a network that was affiliated with Diddy. I didn't get it. Didn't make any sense to me. Not at all. But what I do know is this. Diddy has a history of bullying women into relationships with him and bullying men away from the women that he desires to possess.
And guess what Jaguar Wright's not done? She's naming names: Jay-Z, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Rick Ross, J. Lo, 50 Cent No Ones, Off Limits. She even called Blige a procurer and cover, with Kid Cudi testifying about arson and break-ins. Jaguar's once crazy claims about rituals, handlers, and dark industry secrets are starting to look like receipts. Was she exposing the playbook all along?
Kid Cudi testified about his home being broken into, his car set on fire. We've also heard from a male escort who testified to creating, quote, scenes with Cassie under the direction of Sean Combs, and then Diddy's former assistant who testified to seeing Combs' another girlfriend. Which one of these three men do you think potentially had the most impact?
I actually think it's Kid Cudi, and that's because the things that he is testifying to brings us outside of the realm of domestic violence and these kind of crimes that we've been hearing a lot about. Remember, in a racketeering case, they have to show a criminal enterprise and these ongoing criminal predicate acts that we refer to them as. Something like arson, something like that car bombing that Kid Cudi testified to, the break-in, residential burglary, all of those things start to paint the picture that this is far more than just a incredibly jealous or man, that this is someone who is willing to extend beyond that and commit crimes. And that, I think, is really moving the needle as far as the racketeering charges go. All of this kind of fits into that overall scheme of a criminal enterprise. But I think when the government starts to extend beyond the freak offs and beyond they start to paint a fuller picture for the jury of just really how this person operated like a criminal.
Jaguar Wright's been sounding the alarm on Diddy and Bryce Shear long before the lawsuits hit. She's reportedly vowed to make sure the world knows what happened to that boy. Bryce, once a rising star with real promise, has since been spotted on OAF, allegedly selling himself for scraps. A tragic fall from grace? Jaguar asks, what really caused his derailment?
Funny thing is he's always saying little slick stuff. And don't nobody ever figure he needs to be subpoenaed for any of it. If we go back and we think about things that he said before Cassie filed the lawsuit, right before Cassie filed the lawsuit, he was talking about how Diddy used to send videos of Cassie getting partied on, getting freaked off on. And he said he called him and he said, hey, have you seen this? I thought this was your girl. I thought you loved it. Oh yeah, she loves it. She loves it. Whoopty whoopty woo. Yada yada yada. That was evidence of a freak off that he had footage of. Why was that not subpoenaed? And if he knows so much, why isn't he a material witness? I don't get it. Everybody's so interested in hauling me off the court to force me on the stand to do this and to do that. But this man is sitting over here, he's been dry snitching for almost 2 years straight. And he's not a witness? Why not? If you have knowledge that the Jigga Man helped the diddler boom boom Kid Cudi's car because he didn't want his property messed with, which was Cassie, why ain't nobody asking him to come testify about it? Why is he not being called in? Like all of this, I'm gonna sit on Instagram and I'm gonna just shoot a shot and I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna sit back and watch and please. This is serious. People have been hurt. People have been destroyed. Now you just want to be the lineup king, Curtis, huh? How can we line you up everything you did with Soulja Boy? Who is that? Being used as a dog whistle against DDG. All of this is getting real suspicious.
Jaguar Wright claims Bryce Shear was handed to Diddy and Will Smith at 17 under a mentorship program. But instead of guidance, she says they exploited him and left him soulless.
I think we're all in shock. Everybody knew about the Diddy parties and the after party, but we didn't know about the after party, right? Apparently the after party were these freak off sessions that were very selective, very coordinated, according to Cassie's testimony, very coordinated by Diddy, and it's not something that we knew about. It's just shocking. It's shocking to know that all of this was going on for years. It was shocking to know that people were witnessing certain parts of but they weren't privy to nature of this. And this wasn't like an everyday couple. Diddy has been in the spotlight for that whole time, and the fact that we knew nothing about these counts that he was orchestrating, it's just shocking.
Jaguar Wright took direct aim at 50 Cent, calling him out for dropping hints but dodging the witness stand. She says he's been dry snitching for years, so why isn't he testifying? To her, this isn't just about Diddyites, a full-blown Recca level takedown, and she's naming names like scripture.
I do want to ask you, for Cassie to take the stand, and mind you, there's no cameras in court. For Cassie going up there pregnant, almost due, for the optics of that, how do you feel, just, you personally, the optics of hearing about freak-offs, hearing about these things that happened, years ago, and seeing her there because her husband is there too, and I believe he stormed off as well because she has children and now she's pregnant. The optic of seeing her up there,
being treated like a worker.
Yeah.
Being disrespected. All of the things, God bless Alex Fine. God bless Mr. Fine. Nobody has really thought about what this must be like for him. The second that him and Cassie pulled up in New York, they already had YouTubers, like ex-bad boy cheerleaders, who were still bragging about being loyal to the dip, calling her a whore, telling people not to care about her baby. He said Mary Magdalene was a whore, and he compared her like, and y'all better not be affected by that baby bump. Whores have babies too. Who says that?
Wow.
Talking about he knows where her family is from because he's from New London, Connecticut. And everyone wants to keep barreling down on Ryan Leslie. It's funny. I talked about the whole Ryan Leslie connection. Ryan loved Cassie, bragged about her. Cassie just testified. She has tattoos on her body from Ryan Leslie. But nobody ever talks about how that relationship ended and how her relationship with Diddy began. Ryan was blowing up.
Jaguar writes, Smoke gets personal she's, dragging the whole silent circle, including 50 Cent, who's been hinting but staying silent under oath. Then there's Chopper, a former Bad Boy South artist, who revealed betrayal and broken promises. He says Diddy took everything, left him stranded during Hurricane Katrina, and never even gave him what he earned.
When Diddy looked at me, he looked at me like, you bitch ass nigga. Obviously for what I spoke my truth. You heard me on all the dialogue. But he actually looked at me in disappointment. You heard me? He looked at me like I have no right to be up there. He looked at me like he was like, I don't know. It was eerie. It was like, how could you do this to me? But deep down, I looked at him like, how could you do this to me? You understand? Like the life that I had to live from you doing bad business with me, and I done everything right. You heard me with the Bad Boy situation. The songs that you stole from me, from the Khalees, not Milkshake B, but I'm Bossy B, to all that that I've done behind the scenes and on the scenes that you took from me and give me nothing. You gave me nothing. You left me to be down here in New Orleans, Louisiana, especially during Katrina, when I had to give my savings to my family. Be honest with you, from the Bad Boy South situation, I signed a $500,000 deal. Uncle Sam took practically 190 of that, left me with practically at least 300 and some thousand. When Diddy said me, because I wasn't trying to be on the road with him or be on the road at all to promote my album, courtesy of Katrina, because no one from outside of New Orleans understood the detrimental situation that has occurred to us. I didn't even understand it. You dig? I'm not used to a Category 5 hurricane. When hurricanes come here, it be Category 3, 2, like that there. It's that you can manage. You understand? I didn't understand the detrimental situation that was going to occur, and he didn't either. So I could understand why he probably was like, get back on the road. You dig? But I couldn't get back on the road. So I gave most of all my money to my family. After I asked this man, say, bruh, you owe me another $500,000. I signed $1 million deal. Give me the other $500,000, or at least a portion of that, so I can make sure my people straight to get out of the city, and I could be straight.
Chopper didn't just talk, he showed up, carrying years of pain and betrayal into the courtroom. His voice trembled with nerves and history as he saw Cassie share a knowing smirk. Then came the Combs family, glaring like he was the enemy. Diddy looked worn but still untouchable, but this time, Chopper stood his ground.
So I went up there, when I went up there, I was anxious. I'm not even gonna much lie to you, because it was a bittersweet situation, bro. You know, bittersweet because bitter because of the things that transpired with me in the Bad Boy situation with Diddy and how it went down. That wasn't right on my end, as well as it wasn't right on his end. I'm not going to be biased and just straight blame him for all the things that transpired, but I 100% can say that he's responsible for a lot of things that I wasn't able to do with my career moving forward. So when I went to the courtroom, it was packed. I'm not even going to lie to you, brother. It was packed. It was pandemonium. People were happy to see me. I ain't gonna lie, I was low key though. I was low key, but I took my hoodie off. I went in there, you know, because it's a public, whatever you dig. Anybody can practically go in there, kind of. So I went in there, and people knew my face. And the first person I seen was Cassie. I seen Cassie. She gave me a little smirk on her face. I knew what the smirk was. The smirk was like, wow, chops here, right? And she was kind of happy to see me. Then I look over to my left and I see the whole Combs family. I seen Janice, his children was there, the twin girls was there, his other daughter was there, all the little cornballs, his little sons was there, you dig, and they gave me the most meanest mug in the world, right? and Diddy come out, right? And Diddy looked like he about a good 99 years old, but he still had a great characteristical attitude with himself, meaning I can tell, you heard me, that he's keeping his head up in there, even though it's so hard for him. I can tell that it's hard for him by me going through that situation a couple years ago, but I can also tell that he's keeping his head up, maybe not for this situation, bruh, but most definitely for his family. He's staying strong for his family.
So, do you think Jaguar Wright has more truth bombs ready to drop? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest. Until then, fam, keep it real.